What's up, good people? It's your host, Ray Lyford, and this is The State of Us, the podcast that discusses who we are in order to groom who we become. So, today, I want to talk to you about a topic that's been heavy on my heart, right? Talk about entrepreneurship, leadership, being the boss. For a lot of people, they don't understand what it requires to be the boss, okay? They don't understand the dedication, the focus, the drive, the sleepless nights, the pressure that you've got to be able to handle, all of these things that create that mentality. You have to be a beast, okay? First and foremost, it's got to be success number one on your mind. All you're thinking about is getting to that top objective, right? One of the things that we talk about too is how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you are a person that craves leisure, you are a person that wants immediate gratification, you are a person that feels like that if you are in charge or you are the boss, you should work less. Entrepreneurship is not going to work out for you. Okay. Leadership is not going to work out for you because what you have to have is you have to have that beast mentality. And in that beast mentality is nothing is ever good enough. You have to be that person that gets $1,000, get a check cut for $1,000 and you mad it ain't 1,500. So you're trying to figure out how to improve your brand. You're trying to figure out how to better yourself. You're trying to figure out exactly what your overall objectives are daily, right? You have to have a strategic plan about how you go through life. Now a lot of us can admit that we're terrified that beast is not in us. We want our lives to be governed by other people because that's safety. In the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, the biggest thing was go get a steady job, go work for the post office, or go to the military, or work for the certain plant that was big time in your community. Well, that was how they did it, right? That showed that you were a responsible person. But today people are different, right? You have entrepreneurship taking place at record levels across the world. You have people that are becoming social media hosts. You have people that are out here creating their own brands. You have people out here that are creating their own rental services and car companies. And you've got more barbers and DJs than ever before. Well, these people are banking on them, but they understand that they work way more than 40 hours a week. If you have a 40-hour a week mentality, you cannot be a boss. While you're sleeping, somebody else is grinding. Right? If you waking up at 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, you cannot be a boss. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning thinking about what I need to do at 6 and what I need to do at 7 to get ahead of the next man or woman. So understand that being a boss is not for everyone. Then also you got to be a self motivator. How do you motivate yourself when the accounts are low, when things are going awry, when you're having family disruption, when you see things going and coming, you're losing assets and you're losing time. How do you balance? Right? What's in you that holds you together? What's your glue? That's a question for you, right? Let's talk about something else. How do you handle pressure situations? When there's nobody left or right to argue about or blame a mistake for, how do you cope with you when you feel as though you're failing? Because in order to be a boss, you got to understand the difference between failing and failure. Failure is the refusal to get up and try again. Failure is not having that intestinal fortitude to drive through. Failing, you're going to do that every single day. That's how you get good. That's how you get great. Then also, let's talk about this. You have to have a support system. You have to have somebody feeding that beast, right? That beast has to eat. So somebody has to be looking out for your best interest. So this is when we start talking about who you surround yourself with. You have to surround yourself with people of like mind and spirit. So that brother or sister that you can call at 5 o'clock in the morning because they up doing the exact same thing you doing. That conversation that you can have at 12 midnight because that person's up doing the exact same thing. And this is how you grow each other. This is how you develop feedback. Then you have to have a cohesive mind. You have to be a person that sits there and says, okay, how do I help the person that helped me or the people that helped me accomplish their goals while I'm accomplishing mine? Right? That's that kindred mind frame that says, hey, nothing is done alone. So now how do you systematically create a enterprise, a building, a company, or whatever, and you help bring someone else along with you? These are the types of things that you have to think about. All right. No one here is a sole proprietor, millionaire, or billionaire without the sweat equity of someone else. Doesn't work that way unless you just luckily, hit the stock market or the lotto. And so when we talk about this, do you have the mentality to be a boss? I myself have been a CEO. I know exactly what it feels like. I know the loneliness that you have to deal with when everybody's looking at you for answers through every storm, but then you only have you to find it from. Do you have that mentality? Then do you also have the work ethic? Do you are you a person that says, well, the only way I can be successful is to fill myself up with degrees? So you go out and get a certification after certification after certification, degree after degree after degree, and then you find yourself still not knowing how to bet on you. Or are you that person that has a skill, a talent, or an ability that's just innate to you? And then do you know how to actually use that gift to now become your livelihood? So everything about this situation is about how have you been cultivated and how are you growing? See, everyone wants to be wealthy, but very few people want to put the sweat equity in it. So as we talk about this, how you do anything is how you do everything. And what we mean by that, if there's a place where you cut corners all through your life. If there's a place where you lack dedication all through your life. If you lack focus all through your life. You are creating the model that your business is either going to succeed or fail off of by your habits. And so when we say this, you got to wake up first because a lot of us want to dream big. But then when it's time to open your eyes and get out there and grind, you don't have it in you. And so I want you to process a couple of things while you're thinking about that move, that mid, life change in profession, that betting on you. I want you to think about what is going to require. What do you have to sacrifice? And what are you willing to sacrifice to reach your objectives? So before you can ever be a leader of men, you got to be a leader of self. Hey, once again, this is your boy Ray Lyford. This is the state of us, the place where we talk about who we are in order to groom where we're going. Peace.